of course, there were ethnic Ukrainians that were fighting in the Polish army, but those were Ukrainians. I mean, there were more of them, but they were fighting in the Polish army, having lived in the western parts of Poland, so to say, and they were simply, they were never embraced is maybe the wrong word, but they were never taken in by the Ukrainian state which was created. And this is where this unit that I was talking about, the Ukrainian 6th Sich Rifle Division, they were a part of the Ukrainian state that had been formed further to the east. So when I'm talking about this smaller figure, this particular division again is technically a division, is supposed to be 20,000 people or so. These were rather not even a regiment sized, but the ambitions were higher, which is why they were given the name division. During the march on Kiev, which preceded the Battle of Warsaw, they were around 2,500. During the fighting for the Battle of Warsaw, they were slightly above 3,000. Later on, when they were the most numerical during the Polish Bolshevik War, which was at the absolute end of it, they were almost up to 5,000 soldiers. So comparing to the Polish army of 600,000-700,000, there are also some tendencies in Ukraine to say that, well, the Polish victory in the Battle of Warsaw was a shared Polish-Ukrainian victory, 50-50, so to say. So this is taking it to the extreme, on the other end. So it would be good if both Poles and Ukrainians knew about exactly what happened and the proportions of the Ukrainian help. But what is true, though, is that the Ukrainians were fighting at a part of the front which was crucial to the Poles. They were defending the city of Zamość, but we might return to that a little bit later on, and we'll start instead with how the division was created and what they did during the initial phase of the war. The division was really created close to what many people might know as Brest-Litovsk in Poland, only Brest, but it became famous due to being the place where the peace treaty was signed between the Germans in the First World War and the Bolshevik government, which had taken power. And it was there in which a large Ukraine was created, but under German auspices, so to say. And they started creating various forms of military units. However, after the November Revolution, or October Revolution, depending on which calendar you use, this regime under Pawlo Skoropadsky, Hetman Pawlo Skoropadsky, support for it simply melted away, and instead the reins were taken over by Semyon Petliura, the creator of the Centralna Rada and the leader of the Ukrainian People's Republic. He had been a military man himself. He had been leading the building up of the Ukrainian forces in the lead up to this moment, and his main focus initially was to make sure that the armed forces of the Ukrainian People's Republic are as large as possible. They shared one thing with Poland, which is that during the Great War, you could say that its core cadre had been fighting on the side of the Austro-Hungarian army, just as the Polish legions under Józef Piłsudski. And there you had the first unit of the Sich riflemen. So you could say that the commanders of that unit, they were the ones that later would be building the core of this future Ukrainian People's Republic army. However, most of the soldiers were soldiers who had previously fought in the army of the Tsar. Now that Ukraine had been liberated, we must remember that the part which today is Ukraine and was under Austro-Hungarian rule before the First World War was only that tiny part of Galicia. 90-95% or so of what is today Ukrainian territory was part of the Russian Empire before the First World War. And therefore, naturally, most of the soldiers were still had previously served in the Tsarist army. However, the core had this slight Galician and Austro-Hungarian element. Yes.
Adam, the clock has, as always, defeated us. I'm going to have to ask you to pause just there, if I may, but we'll pick it up next time. There we are. As usual, the clock has defeated us, and Adam's had to pause almost, but not quite in mid-sentence. Fear not. If you join us next time, as we hope you will, we'll pick up the story on Poland Daily History. In the meantime, thank you for watching.